Welcome back. Welcome into the Fountain Cast. This is episode 8, I think. I'm trying to count. I keep losing track. But welcome back. I'm Preston. With me, like always, the illustrious Matt Chabot. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good. I don't know that I'm that famous yet, but maybe one day. But I'm doing all right.
You're
The
famous
Royals are
for
on.
us.
Just won their first series, so
Oh, yeah.
excited to see them keep playing the rest of the year. They seem like they're getting on track now for the most part. So
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that. They are on right now playing the Twins, opening a series. So we'll kind of keep some tabs on that. But yeah, I mean, today's game 10. We're 10 games in. Time flies, I guess.
yeah, it's
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, so we'll go through that. We'll recap a little bit of, what is it, 3 series so far. Go through maybe some surprising rankings. I think everybody kind of has a sense of how they feel the offense is going and how they feel the pitching is going, but we'll kind of go through the actual numbers, some strong performers, and then maybe chat about the opposite side of things, the not strong performers, the guys that you read about on Twitter nonstop.
Yeah,
Just kind of give our thoughts on if there's any hope, what do you do with these guys? And then we'll just wrap it up with a minor league update. Minor leagues are all underway now. They got started, the rest of the affiliates over the weekend. So Omaha got started basically on opening day. Everybody's now playing. So we'll go through very small sample sizes, but it's still fun to kind of see how it's going. So,
yeah. The starts are always fun to watch the stats go flying up and down. When they go up, everybody's like, "Whoa!"
yeah, yeah,
If he
and
can keep up that 3,000 OPS, that would be crazy.
yeah, right. Yeah, we'll go through it a little later, but I mean, last year a lot of guys started really slowly. This year it's kind of the opposite, so it's nice. I think
Yeah,
for once. So with that, let's get back to the recap. Royals are 4-5, second place in the AL Central. As terrible as things have been, according to some of the
yeah,
fans,
yeah.
just
Right.
gets so toxic on social media.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
the Chiefs were undefeated this year, and fans were like, "I'm so done with Brett Veach. Like, I can't stand
yeah,
this guy." It's like, "What are you doing? We made the Super Bowl."
yeah, the dude would be hired in 20 minutes.
I know.
So yeah, 4-5. The Royals are in good shape, second place behind the Tigers. Twins have been kind of slumping. The Guardians did not have a very good series, I think, against the Angels. So and now we get, I think, 7 games against the AL Central over these next couple series. So it's a chance for the Royals to hopefully get on track and get that winning streak. Last year, I think they won 7 straight at home after starting 2-4. So it'd be nice to see something similar.
Yeah, I mean, for perspective, they played 3 playoff teams in the first 3 series. Like 4-5 is not the end of the world when you're playing 3 good teams. It's not like we're going out facing the White Sox every game. It's
Yeah,
so
100%.
not the end of the world to finish just below 500 against 3 teams that are really good rosters.
Yep. Yeah, the Royals went 1-2 against Cleveland. They had that 1/10 inning loss to open the
That was
season.
yeah.
Not great. And then they went 1-2 against the Brewers. They blew up on offense with 11 runs in game one, and then just couldn't keep the offense going. Finally won their first series of the season against the Orioles over the weekend, 8-2 in game one, and then a 4-1 victory in the third game of the series. So, Matt, looking at those 3 series, I mean, personally, I feel like they could have easily taken the Cleveland series.
I think they could have taken both
Milwaukee,
of them.
yeah, they could have easily taken that Milwaukee series. A couple
Yeah,
of
both.
extra innings losses.
Yeah, those 2 extra innings
Um,
losses were brutal. Losing on a
yeah,
bunt hurts every time.
yeah,
Never gonna feel good
right.
about losing
And
on a
and
bunt, but
he threw home. Like it's like they
uh
weren't even prepared for the bunt. It was
yeah,
so irritating.
yeah,
But
uh,
yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, it stinks. I hope he gets back on track because he was big last year. But basically, without the 2 losses for Sam Long, the Royals have 3 series wins and three.
yeah, yeah, I'm not I'm not too disappointed. I mean, they've played good games. Some things have been surprising, but also some guys have stood out, and we'll get into that later. I think, a little bit disappointed to start the year with the rotation, but I think part of us were like that last year. Waka got off to a slow start last year as well, so with starting pitchers, it kind of you want to get them into a routine and get into a groove of doing things. So it's always somewhat rough for some guys starting the year, and you need much bigger sample size than we have right now. But definitely have seen some command issues with walking guys or
Yeah,
just not keeping the ball on the corners or out in the middle. Really has been the thing for them. So
Yeah,
I
Lugo's
think,
had some really bad command issues, but I mean, you don't expect that to stick all season. I think
yeah,
he'll be
neither
okay.
he and Waka have played for long enough. Those two
Hmm.
I think, will get it under control, and um, we'll talk about Bubic later, who's looked like he's been playing in the league for 20 years and
Yeah.
dominating like it's
Yeah,
nobody's
right.
business. But he's fun. But nothing too concerning has happened to. I haven't seen anything that causes me long term concern. No,
Yeah.
they're not winning the World Series right now. Like, you're not looking at this like, oh, we can beat the Dodgers, but I'm also not thinking that they're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, still, like I said, in the thick of it, second place in the AL Central. Like you mentioned, though, I mean, it's not an easy schedule. Not just like so far, but the whole month of April.
Yeah.
We got Minnesota, who might be the easiest opponent we have for like half the month. After
Mm.
Minnesota, you got Cleveland, then New York, then Detroit. Get a little break with the Rockies, then you got Houston, Tampa Bay, Baltimore. So it's just going to be a tough month in general. And if the Royals finish the month 500, I think they're in pretty good shape, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really good for them. I think it's hard to beat good teams. It's hard to win series in baseball. I mean, you're playing 3 games in a row against the same team. It can always be tough. And we're playing against good teams. You're expected to lose some. I think fans kind of lose their minds after every loss. Uh,
Yeah.
I try to remind people sometimes on Twitter that this isn't football. One loss is not the end of the world. There's 162 games. Even one series loss is not the end of the world because there's a lot of them. We're playing against good teams. We're staying in the games with good teams. We're winning games against good teams. I cannot be very upset even with a losing record right now with the way that they're playing. They'll get an easier stretch later on. I'm sure they'll go on a tear at some point. So nothing to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the story so far is it's overwhelmingly just the offense. And those
Yeah.
losses they had, the offense just couldn't get enough. They had Cole
No.
Reagans. He's your ace. You end up using the whole bullpen and lose the game
Yeah.
because you don't score any runs,
Yeah.
right?
I couldn't
So
score.
I mean, in general, if you look at the ranks, MLB ranks 15th in average, 17th in on base, 20th in slugging, 24th in ISO, just 121. Some of this, I think, is to be expected. I think usually you start the year, the bats are behind the pitching because that timing, you got it going. But it's collectively like the whole lineup until it's not, and then it's like the whole lineup is, they have these blow up games. So I
Yeah.
think it'll definitely stabilize, but um, that's that's what I'm watching is to see if that offense can get going.
Yeah, got to get. They have to get some consistency, especially in the middle of the order. I feel like the middle has been a real struggle for them between
Mhm.
outfielders and other guys. India and Witt have both looked really solid to start the year. A couple other guys have been all right at the top of the order, but as they get further away, it's kind of a similar issue to what we saw last year. Is we just need some consistency behind those first 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Vinny's had his moments, but I don't think he started the year the way you want.
Yeah,
Same with Salvi.
he just got an RBI here, so
Hey, get it back on
gotta
track.
yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Two Twins outfield errors,
Did
which
we
is
trade outfields for the day?
yeah exactly what I like to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's hitting 233, but he's got a 781 OPS, so he's been solid, I think. Sal Perez, I just hope age should catch up with him. His OPS is under 700, but he's a guy I'm not really worried about 2 weeks into
Yeah,
the season, right?
he'll be okay. Again, people losing their minds on Twitter. He's swinging at sweepers, and
He
I
always
feel like you.
has.
I'm about to say I feel like you haven't watched Royals baseball if
Yeah.
you're really upset about Salvador Perez swinging at sweepers because my mom is so funny because my mom's not a huge baseball fan, but she always watches the games with me, and she's like, "Why doesn't he just not swing?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's Salvador Perez." And then finally this year, she's like, "Yeah, he always swings at that." Now my dad's the one asking the question. My mom's like, "No, it's okay. He always swings at that pitch."
Yeah. I mean, if you're not expecting that, then I don't know where you've been for the last since
Yeah,
2012 or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, other offensive stats, they're 16th in runs scored. Not great. Once you get past Salvi, I mean, I guess you have Michael Massey, but he started extremely slow. Doesn't look
hmm
impressive at the plate, but I kind of have some faith he'll turn it around. Behind that, I mean, that bottom of the lineup just stinks right now, and I think
yeah.
that's where you give it till May. But on May 1st, if nothing's changed, then you start asking, okay, what are we doing about it?
Yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me, and I could try to pull them up, but I feel like the only bat that I've seen that's been consistently impactful behind them has been Michael Garcia.
Yeah,
And like
100%.
at times is like especially in like moments where they've needed him to be good. He hit that go ahead home run earlier. Um, his bat has been good, and I think it's done him favors to move him down in the lineup. Um,
Yeah.
so he's kind of making a case to be a everyday guy in a different like a couple of different spots. He's played well. He had a really good play yesterday in center field.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
move has been
I'm
pretty
not
good for
opposed
him.
to him being like the everyday third baseman, to be honest. I like
Yeah.
Massey at second, India at third, and Michael at center field. I think that's the best setup they have right now.
Yeah.
So Isbell, I mean, his defense is outstanding, but he's hitting 200,
Yeah.
slugging like
It's
nothing. So
yeah, it's scary when he comes up. If anybody plays MLB the Show, he's basically just Richie Ashburn. So
yeah,
like,
not
you
great.
just come up and it's like if he hits the ball hard, it's just he's flying out. It's like he just has to loft it in there every time for a single. So he's just not. Again, how many we've said this before, but how many years in a row have we said if he just can be a league average hitter? He's not a league average hitter. He's not going to be a league average hitter. He's great with the glove, but Michael Garcia is looking pretty good with the glove too. And if Michael Garcia looks good with the glove, he's going to be the one that stays in the center field because he's the guy that's hitting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you have a shorter track record of Michael Garcia versus
right.
Isbell, who was up
Yeah.
earlier and, he
Especially
has
with the glove.
longer.
You need more
Yeah.
consistency in fielding. It's all about not making mistakes, not one highlight play. But
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Michael looks great to start the season, hitting 345. He has a 381 BABIP, so, I mean, there's some luck in there, but that's part of the game,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
there
he's
we go.
hitting the ball hard. When you hit the ball hard like he does, then you're naturally going to have a higher BABIP. So,
Yeah,
um, outside of that, I mean, other strong performers. Bobby Wood Jr. Obviously, he's got a 269. So, had a slow couple of games, but he was like, what was it, like a triple shy of the
yeah.
cycle or something the other
I think
day?
he was a
So,
home run shy of the
a
cycle.
home
I'm
run,
not
yeah.
sure.
So he's come along. He's looking like Bobby Wood Jr. like we expect. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's all about the offense right now. That ISO especially, they're just not hitting for
yeah,
power when they do hit. So
yeah,
it's hard to keep the line moving when the bottom of that lineup just can't hit.
yeah. It's the line moves until fifth hitter
Yeah,
ish, and then
right.
it just goes dead. Really
Yep.
frustrating. Again, I don't know if we have the. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but the runners left on base has been so frustrating. It's almost every game it feels like we've left more runners on base than the team we're playing in.
Yeah,
Just got
yeah.
to
The
be
other
better
day
than
they had
that. But
16 hits and got 6 runs out of it. It's just not enough.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's likely that we'll. We talked about this before as well, but I think it's likely at the trade deadline we'll probably see them look to fill some of those li- towards the end of the lineup spots with a little bit more consistency. But
yeah. Which I mean, they did a little of that late into the year last year,
yeah,
but some of that was because of injury, right? So
well, they're hoping Kana can do that too, but he's
yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a time last
so
year
so.
where Tommy Pham looked like an upgrade, but then he kind of cooled off. I think we'll see
Yeah,
some of those same type of moves this year.
right.
The difference this year, obviously, we'll talk about him later, but you have somebody like Jack Caglione who might come up and help the middle of the lineup instead of the back of the lineup. So I think if we look at maybe a silver lining for the offense, the Royals are second in baseball right now with an 88% zone contact rate.
Yeah,
That's outstanding. It's not going to last. It'll tone down, I think. But when the ball is in the zone, they're making plenty of contact. Um, it's just they're not hitting it hard enough as a collective lineup right now. And
yeah,
then on the flip side, they're chasing a lot. I mean, you expect Salvi to chase, but there's a lot of these guys in the lineup that they don't take walks, but they seem to be disciplined at the plate and have a good feel for the strike zone. Not so far this year. Royals are 26 in chase rate, just over 33, almost 34%. So I think they have to fix that to get that contact to really play.
yeah. Yeah, they gotta work on that. You gotta stay alive in the count. They're all about putting the ball in play. So
Yeah, yeah. I had hope in the offseason because when they acquired India, even Pasquantino was talking a little bit about taking more walks. JJ Piccolo was talking about taking more walks. The Royals, they've never prioritized walks. So I had some hope that like maybe that would change a little this year. So far, it doesn't really seem like it. They're 29th in walk rate, but
yeah, we
I don't
we
know.
know we know India's like wants to walk, but they're not letting him take. This is I mentioned that India might have his numbers might dip, but he'll be more impactful just because of the guy behind him. And teams don't want, you're not going to give him a free base. You just can't have Bobby Witt Jr. come up behind a guy and you gave him a free base. So they're not doing that. He had a double today to lead off the game, but it's he's going to be looking for more hits. But other guys have to walk, and especially late in that lineup, the back end of the lineup is not great. And the best way you can get yourself in a rhythm is just get on base. You build your confidence if you get on with walks. So would
Yeah,
like to see a little bit more of that for sure.
yeah, 100%. On the flip side, when it comes to the pitching side, Rows are eighth in runs allowed, so looking solid there, I think. Starting pitcher ERA, they're seventh at 3.14. The bullpen, as bad as it might have been at times, still 12th in the big leagues, not in the American League, in Major League Baseball with a 3.74 reliever ERA. So I think that's just going to keep getting better. I still stand by what I said. I think the Royals can have the best bullpen ERA in at least the American League, and that back trio, we'll talk
Yeah.
about them and strong performers. They've looked fantastic. So I think as you weed out the guys like maybe Sam Long just doesn't have what he had last year, as you kind of refine that bullpen, I think they'll only get better.
Yeah, I saw somebody trying to come up with a nickname for them the other day for that back three. We may not quite be there yet, but they have been really impressive. Exactly as advertised for Hunter Harvey and Estevez. Estevez getting out of that. What was it? No outs, runners on second and third with the block.
Yeah. Hmm.
That was a really impressive outing for him. I mean, just did what he had to do to get out of it. That was a really like a veteran closer. That's exactly what I think they were hoping to get with him. Is you put him in when you need him, and he'll get you out of trouble, get you through the inning. That's what he did. We still lost that game, but we probably should have won it because Estevez got us through that situation. That was one of
Yeah.
the most impressive bullpen outings I've seen for a while. So yeah,
Yeah. That veteran presence, that's why they brought him in. I mean, Urseg's going to give you strikeouts. Hunter Harvey's going to give you strikeouts. But I think and even Carlos Estevez will get strikeouts, but you know what you have with him. I think you can just rely on consistent
yeah. And
output.
his velocity has been down to start the year, and he still looked good. Like his velocity was down 2 and 3 miles an hour at the start of the season. Didn't stop him from being really effective.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed with him, even when his stuff is not at its best. So imagine what it's like when it is at its best. He looked really good.
Yeah. Yeah. He had that slow ramp up because of the injury. Let's keep talking about the strong performers. We already talked about Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr. That trio at the back of the bullpen, they've got 12 and 2/3 innings pitched this year, haven't allowed an earned run at all. 14 strikeouts as a group, and Harvey has 7 of those. It's crazy what a healthy Hunter Harvey does for that bullpen all of a sudden.
Yeah, my friends with the Nationals that are Nationals fans were watching the Orioles series recently, and we're like, "Where were these strikeouts? Where were these strikeouts?" They got so mad that he'd been giving up some contact in Nationals Park. I was like, "I don't care. He's here. He had the strikeouts then too. Some you guys gotta
Yeah, he wasn't bad
settle
with the
down."
Nationals.
Yeah, Washington fans are not very loyal. They don't like when people struggle. So they expect Ovechkins all the time. So, but
Hard to live there, I guess.
yeah,
Outside of the bullpen, Chris Bubich has been, without question, the best starter on the whole uh, roster right now. 2 starts in, he's got .6 F4. He has an 0.71 ERA, 11.3 strikeouts per nine. He's been not just one of the best, well, not just the best starter on the Royals. He's been one of the best in the whole league. Looks
yeah.
fantastic.
He's the everything is impressive for him. The slider looks great. Fastball's one of the best in the system, has great ride to it. It's 93, 94, but it's hard to pick up. It was at a great whiff rate for the first 2 starts of the year. And for those of you that are Royals fans and are not yet on the Bubich train, we are still accepting members. He
Yeah.
We've been talking about him all off season. He has been really, really as advertised for the Royals starting rotation. Definitely
In the words of Rex
excited.
Hudler, he has been boobalicious so far
Yeah,
this season.
of course, Hud said that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I mean, out of these strong performers, I'm going to throw out Bobby Witt Jr. because you expect him to continue.
Yeah.
But Michael Garcia, Chris Bubich, that trio in the bullpen, out of those three, what do you think's the safest to continue the whole season?
Chris Bubich. I'm not continue exactly what he's doing. Nobody's going to
Mhm.
maintain a .71 ERA unless you're Jacob DeGrom, and I don't want him to be Jacob DeGrom because I need that elbow. But that's a really really tough thing to maintain. But what he's doing is repeatable. It's not he's not forcing pushing things. He's not doing things that he hasn't done in the past or attacking the zone. He's doing exactly what we wanted to see Chris Bubich do. He's added a pitch. He's been able to command the pitches effectively. He's confident in every offering that he has. Um, I'm sold. I was sold before the season. I really liked what I saw from him out of the bullpen. The velocity hasn't dipped too much in the fastball. It went down just a little bit, but it's not anything to be concerned with. Uh,
Yeah,
I
and
think
even
we'll
at that
continue.
velocity, the shape of the fastball is good enough. So
Yeah,
if he's going to get whiffs, he's going to miss bats.
that's what's been great. It has great ride to it, and I think we'll see the strikeouts stay up again. Probably not around 11.4, 11.3, but I think he's going to be more than. I said before the season that he'd be the third best starter in the Royals rotation, even if they all remain healthy. I think that he will outperform one of Waka, Reagans, or Lugo. Don't know which one. One of them will struggle at some point during the year, but um, right now he's number one, and
Yeah,
he's impressively number one. And so I love watching every Chris Bubich outing because he's a really just a fun pitcher to watch. He's got it all. So
yeah,
I think that he's the most likely to continue.
yeah. I like it. The changeup looks even better this year, and it was great
Yeah.
to before this season. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's like that Chris Bubich of old. He led the minor leagues in strikeouts one year. It just makes me wonder, man, if this current pitching
Mhm.
development had that 2018 group from the beginning. I think it would have been better.
I know. Is Kowar and Singer and those guys would have. It would be a heck of a rotation.
Yeah.
That could have been really good, but
Nice to see Bubic get on track though. Daniel Lynch, another 2018 guy, he's looked pretty
yeah,
solid out of the
also
bullpen as
been good.
well. So yeah, I like Bubic. I think I'd go with the bullpen. Um, just because I coming into the season, that's kind of what I expected from those guys,
Yeah.
and that instant like, all right, yeah, there it is. I think Bubic will still have a great year. I think he probably finishes the year closer to like a 3 ERA, but I think you
Mhm.
still 100% take that, no question.
Yeah. I think the bullpen's a solid choice as well. They're veteran guys, have done this before. Builds your confidence just to see strikeouts, ERA, innings pitched. And they're in the circle of trust. You definitely can all three of those guys. I feel confident that if we get to the seventh inning with the lead, we're gonna hold on to it.
Yep, 100%. Let's look on the flip side. Stick with the bullpen. Sam Long, Chris Stratton, not in the circle of trust. 12 ERA for Sam Long, 12 and a half, basically. 7.71 ERA for Stratton. I think nobody's really surprised about Stratton's struggles. His fastball velocity is non-existent now. He's 34. He's walking way too many guys. Sam Long, I think, though, is a surprise because he was solid last year. He was one of the best relievers down the stretch. So, yeah, it stinks to see those guys struggle. Do you think either of those guys turns it around by the end of the year?
Long deserves a longer leash. Like he was more successful last year, was in the bullpen for the playoffs and was really solid. His baseball reference page is kind of funny. It's like he's really bad, then pretty good, then really bad, then pretty good. And now he's really bad right now. But he's earned a bit of a leash to kind of struggle a bit and trust that he'll bounce back. He struggled some at times last year as well. Um, but he's played plenty of Major League Baseball and he's been solid with the Royals. So I think he's worthy of a little bit more time. I'm kind of frustrated with the pitch usage for him. The 13% increase in his slider usage is really frustrating, along with a 15% decrease in his curveball usage, which I think is his best pitch.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
it,
That curveball was like when they signed him to a minor league deal. That was what everybody was talking about. The
yeah,
curveball.
it's frustrating to see him not use that as often right now. I think that's going to be one of his better swing and miss pitches. He has a solid fastball. That's always going to be what he builds off of, but I want to see him kind of flip the usage of those two pitches, and I think there's something to be there. Like they can work with him. Only 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. That's not good. 3 and 3 is not good, but and especially 3 over 4 innings pitched. But I think you can trust that he could bounce back. I can't say for sure that he's going to bounce back, but I'd like to see him bounce back. Um, I'm not. the type of guy that'll go on Twitter or go on this podcast or write an article or anything just trashing somebody, but I'm at the end of the road with Chris Stratton. I know it's only 4.2 innings. I'm about done. He didn't play much last year, wasn't healthy. When he was healthy, he wasn't great. Um, I've kind of reached the point that I'm ready to see somebody else. 7.71 ERA over 4.2 innings, only 2 strikeouts, 4 walks over that time. The fastball velocity is down 2 miles an hour. And if I see him huck 81 right down the gut, I'm going to lose my mind. I simply can't stand it. His curveball, again, is his best pitch. It's his best pitch by a mile. It has 3,000 RPM. The thing cuts really well. It moves really well. It's not working for him. And
Yeah,
it's
with
not
the
working.
fastball velocity down, it might never work again, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's what. Yeah, it's the fastball. Nobody is worried about an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Hitters can pick that up. Slider's really the only pitch that's working for him, and so I don't see him bouncing back in a way that will be super productive for the Royals. And I think with the guys that they have in the minor leagues, uh, somebody's got to be better.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you who's 100% better. Luinder Avila looks great to
Yeah,
start the year. But I mean, really, any of those guys. Jonathan Bolin, I think he's an
yeah.
upgrade over Stratton. Steven Cruz, I think his command issues worry me, but I still think you get a lot more upside than Chris
As
Stratton gives you.
he's got a shot. I mean, Jack Johnson was talking about him just in Arizona, so
Yeah. Hmm.
that would be an interesting guy to call up. I just think there's a lot of options. Again, we talked about the depth of this bullpen starting the year. Marsh has had a step back with the elbow, so I think it's worth the time to just give someone a shot right
Hmm.
now, right? Like because Chris Stratton is a veteran guy. And now you already know what you're going to get out of him. He looks the same as he did last year, if not worse. So I'd rather give somebody like Cruz or even Avila a shot to come out and, solidify a spot in the bullpen. And if they don't, Marsh comes in and takes their spot. Maybe Kyle Wright takes their spot when he's fully healthy. There's options, but I'm about done with Chris Stratton. I think Sam Long deserves a shot to bounce back, but at the end of the road for Stratton, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's not much of anything else there. Maybe the Royals are just biding their time. The setback, like you mentioned for Alec Marsh, not great, but when he is ready to go, or when Kyle Wright's ready to go, whatever it is, I think then you'll see somebody on the chopping block. What's
Yeah.
the score right now? 1-1. MJ
Yeah.
Melendez just doubled.
Yeah, it was about I have the game on the TV right over here. It was about 4 or 5 feet from being a homer, just short.
Yeah.
But
Well, we were just about to trash him,
yeah, I'm
so
about to
that's
say.
nice.
Speaking of Melendez,
Yeah.
he's up next.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
been, to no surprise, he's been the talk of any Royals fan this season, hitting
yeah,
100 coming into the game, a 250 on base, a 33% strikeout rate. It's a new swing and it's not working. I still am the mindset, give him a month. I still think you keep him till May. You know, he hit a double today. It can turn around in a week. A week from now, we might be talking about, oh, it's working.
right.
But so far, it hasn't worked. He has a
Right.
12% drop in his hard hit rate over last year. He's only going opposite field like 8%. So he's pulling the ball immensely more, even than he did, the rest of his career when he was a pretty pull happy hitter. And his zone contact rate's at 71%, which is the worst of his career. So it takes an adjustment period. The new swing is not working. I think he's running out of time, but I don't think the time is now, personally.
Yeah, again similar to Sam Long. Like I said before, he's earned a bit of a chance to work his way through some of these struggles. Again, I'm going to mention when Jack Johnson was on here, you want to see what he does with this swing when he struggles. Is he going to go back to the old one, or is he going to stick with this one? The swing he just had was a pretty good looking one. I'm not like I was happy with the way that it looked. It doesn't really matter how it looks if you're not getting hits. I don't care if your
Right.
swing's the most beautiful thing in the world if you're whiffing at every pitch. But um, the swing looks better. It just has to be better. And it hasn't been yet. Again, he might have to just get on track, build some confidence. There's obviously a mental side to hitting. We just played 3 pretty good teams, good pitchers. It's hitting's not easy. That's not an excuse for a professional baseball player. Like you're going to have to be good, or it's the major leagues. You're going to get either sent down or traded. Um, but I think he deserves a chance to maybe not be an everyday player in the lineup, but work through some of those things. And once you've had a significant amount of at bats, like you can decide from there, like 30-ish at bats. I think at that point you can go, is it really like if it's this bad at 30 at bats, he's
Yeah,
gone,
yeah,
optioned at best. Um, but you hope to see him bounce back.
yeah. I'm definitely leaning at this point. I'm leaning more towards I don't really bank on him figuring it out. It's just it's the swing isn't even the only issue. Like he's striking out way too much. He's swinging at junk,
Yeah,
swinging at shit like that's in the dirt. You can't fix your approach while fixing your swing while finding your timing. It's just too many things.
yeah, it's the
So I think he gets optioned and you see what happens. But yeah, we'll see.
yeah, it's the Melendez experience of take a curveball down the middle, swing at a fastball out of the zone, and then strike out on something that's not even close.
Yeah,
That was kind of the I said that the start of spring training, it was like the first Melendez at bat, and it was curveball, fastball, out. It was like, okay, well, he's back.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
mean, we'll see. A lot of times you see people, well, send him to Omaha so he can figure it out. Like he's at the
no, that
point
won't
as a
help
big
him.
leaguer, like the only thing Omaha's going to do is allow him to struggle the same way
Right.
outside of, the public eye, basically.
Yeah, yeah. You go to Omaha, and those struggles are less apparent, but
Yeah, exactly.
it
He's still going
doesn't
to work
matter.
through the exact same things. It's just
Right.
not going to impact the big league roster. So
Yeah.
I think we'll probably get there, personally. Um, Entering the season, I was like, maybe like a 60-40. I leaned him not figuring it out. I'm probably at like a 70-30 now that I just don't think it's going to pan out. But
Yeah, I'm rooting for him all the way. He works hard. He's a nice guy. I saw somebody the other day say that he's like Greg Dieter with the Chiefs, where like he's Bobby Witt's friend. So they're like, keep him. He gets to stay. It's like we'll we'll settle with Greg Dieter running some routes if we have to. He makes Bobby happy. Like it's a but that's I want to see him work it out. I like Melendez just as a guy. I like Melendez. I want to see him stay in the locker room. I agree that the odds are he probably won't, but I'm really, really rooting for him. Every time he comes to the plate, I want to see him get a hit really, really bad. One of the players that I root for the hardest on the Royals just to see him succeed. Um, but he's got a ways to go.
yeah, 100%. Let's flip to the other side of the outfield. Hunter Renfroe, really similar to MJ Melendez. He's slashing 160, 250, 200 to start the year. But it might just be me because I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. I'm not really that worried. I think he's going to do better as the season goes on. If you look at the metrics, he's got a 10% walk rate. That might be the best in the lineup, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's striking out a bit more than you want, 25%, but zone contact, he's 87%. He's got a 19% chase rate. So, I mean, the approach is there. He's swinging at the right pitches. I just don't think when he is hitting the ball, he's not hitting it hard enough yet. And I don't think he's been that lucky. But I think if he can just maintain what he's doing, I could see Renfro at least being, league average this season.
Yeah, I can't be too mad with his approach. I've watched every game so far except for one because the MLB likes to black out games in Baltimore. For me, and I can't afford to go to a restaurant to watch every game that the Royals play. So I did miss one, but as the games that I did see from Renfro, I have not been super upset with his approach. There obviously are some things that you can tweak here and there, but I have not seen anything from him that like has made me upset. Um, it's I feel like the approach is there. He's got what he needs to succeed. He just has to do it. Um, I think the odds for him are much higher than Melendez. You know, he has a history of
Yeah, for
success in
sure.
the major leagues, and you can see that the approach is just so much better than Melendez. Like at the plate, he's not swinging at pitches in the dirt. It's not like striking out on filth. He's just uh, there's been some bad luck. There's been some unfortunate strikeouts. There have been some bad swings, but I'm not super concerned. I'm not in love with it. Like obviously I think there is
Yeah,
an improvement
for
to be
sure.
had in the outfield, but I'm not like get him out of the lineup now, you know.
Yeah, I'd be
So
much happier if he's like hovering around like a 100 weighted runs created plus, and
Yeah,
he's like your everyday DH and takes like 2 games off a week. That would
right.
be a good role for him, I think. I was looking up; he has a 222 BABIP so far, which is atrocious. So I just think he needs a little more time. Like you, I think there's a much greater chance that he can give you more value down the line than Jay Melendez.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we're dumping Chris Stratton. We're holding out a little hope for MJ Melendez, even if it's fizzling out. And then maybe Sam Long and Hunter Renfroe are just kind of to be determined with those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready to see another reliever. I want to give Sisk a shot. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I
him
think we're gonna
later
bring
in
him
a
up
little bit,
earlier.
but
Yeah, but
I
he's
I
another
want to
guy.
I want to see him just get a chance, see what he's got.
Yeah, yeah, he's a low velo guy, but he misses bats
Yeah, I mean, though,
despite no velo.
that's what
Yeah.
Stratton is. He's just from the right side of the plate, and at this point, we're
Hmm.
looking like one of our left-handed relievers is going to be out of there because Zerpa's had some trouble as well at times. So
Yeah.
um, didn't include him in there, but Zerpa's had some issues as well. So with between Long and Zerpa struggling, Daniel Lynch has been the only lefty that we've seen be consistently solid so far. So I would like to see Sis get a chance, and I'm sure he will at some point this year. But um,
Yeah, yeah, I'd like
why
to
not
swap him
now?
out for Stratton. I don't care how many
Mm,
lefties you got, to be honest.
yeah,
So, all right, well let's move into that minor league update. Like I said, Omaha's been playing a bit longer than everybody else. The rest of the affiliates got kicked off over the weekend. So a lot of these guys we're going to talk about, it's pretty small sample sizes. It honestly doesn't mean anything, but it's nice to see the guys that are hitting early. It's nice to see that hot start because it's easier to stay hot than it is to dig yourself out of a hole, I think. So let's start with the hitters. Northwest Arkansas is stacked. I don't know if they're using like the happy fun ball.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but the
They
whole
got the
lineup,
torpedo bats. They got the
yeah,
torpedo
yeah,
bats.
the whole lineup is mashing. Jack
Yeah,
Caglione hitting 385, slugging 692. He had like this 700-foot home run, 116 miles off
yeah,
the bat, right? So he looks exactly like we hoped. Spring training has gone to Springdale. He looks good. I think if he's doing this in May, you start putting him in the outfield, and if he's doing fine in the outfield by like June, then you move him up. That's probably
yeah.
where I'm at with him.
Yeah, I would like to see him get some reps in the outfield. I think just hitting wise at the plate, he's easily ready for Omaha, but you want to
Yeah,
see him get in the outfield a little bit. He's not just going to take Vinny's job. Like he's not going to. Vinny's been one of the most consistent guys in the lineup, so you're not going to let him take Vinny's job. But
yeah.
he'll maybe move around. But the
You
kid's
need
just like
some flexibility. You can't have
yeah,
two and
two
a half
first
first
base
basemen.
DH. Yeah,
Salvi's going to play catcher, but he really
right.
shouldn't play as much as he does.
Right. Yeah, he's the kid's just incredible. I mean, there's you can't say enough about what he does at the plate. It's just absurd. It's
Yeah. Behind him, Carter Jensen hitting 467. The strikeouts have been concerning, especially with last year. He started to have those strikeout issues, but he's still walking enough. He's got a 529 on base. The power's there enough. He's slugging 467. And then Gavin Cross, he's hitting leadoff for the Naturals most nights so far. Hitting 333, getting on base, 412 on base. So same thing with him. The power's not there. But I mean, I think it'll be there. His bat speed was great in Arizona. I'm not really worried about the power. I've always been worried more about the hit tool with him, and so far so good.
yeah, he had to get the bat on the ball. His strikeouts were pretty bad at sometimes, and
Mhm.
he had the in spring training he had that one really good throw from the outfield, showed off
Yeah,
the
in the spring
cannon of
breakout,
an
yeah.
arm. So that was nice, kind of like a lefty Hunter Renfroe. But
Hmm. Yeah,
the two
I can see that.
those those three those three have been really impressive at the top of that lineup. Probably three best hitters in the Royals farm system, and almost easily the three best hitters in the Royals farm system as far as just hitting at the plate goes. So good to see all three of them succeeding. Hopefully, all three of them end in Omaha or higher this year. I think that would be
Yeah,
realistic expectations.
yeah. Somebody else I think that might not be on radars that I think has a similar trajectory. Spencer Nivens. He's looked
Yeah.
great this year.
Oh yeah.
He was fantastic to finish the year. Hit 13 home runs in August. That was the most home runs by any Royal since Vinny had. I think he had 11 in
Yeah.
Omaha in 1 month. So Nivens surpassed that. He's on slugging 615 to start the year, hitting 385. So he's just continued what he did last year. Difference is he's doing it at a higher level. He finished the year at Quad Cities. Now he's in Northwest Arkansas. So if he can do that, I mean, Baseball America was talking about him. There were scouts in spring training talking about he could be at the big leagues this year, which
Yeah.
I don't think the Royals are going to be that aggressive. Not with guys like Gavin Cross who have already been at Double A, but I think Nivens is a guy people should definitely pay more attention to.
Yeah, Nivens deserves a lot more credit than he gets. He'll hopefully finish the year in Omaha as well. I don't know how trash does the Royals outfield have to be for him and Cross to get up like that. It would be concerning. Um, Not that they're bad prospects, but like you want to let them develop a little bit.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't just call them up. But the Royals bullpen would have to be really bad, or not bullpen. The Royals outfield would have to be really bad. Um, but yeah, he's mashing again to start the year. I mean, uh, those guys are just the heart of the lineup for them is incredible. Then we got another guy who's mashing in Quad Cities who probably should be in Northwest Arkansas, to be honest with you, because of his defense alone. But Rockefort is going insane with over 1,000 with his slugging percentage. Um,
Yeah, he's insane bananas. 643 ISO, like sixth in
yeah,
minor league baseball right now.
yeah,
The
yeah.
swing looks good. I think he struggled last year early because he was trying to, lift the ball a little bit more. He kind of settled into that as the year went on, and he's repeating high A as like a 23-year-old. So he needs to do it at the next level, but I don't think it'll take him very long to get there.
Yeah, I think he could or should be there now. Yeah, when he did the interview with us, he said, just doing whatever he can to help the team. He's helping the team.
Yeah,
Um, he's he's doing more than enough to help the team. He's walking some. The OBP is up there, almost at 500. Slugging, incredible. Those five guys right now, probably again the top five hitting prospects for the Royals. So many lefties, but such a good problem to have. So I'm totally fine with if they're all hitting like that, we can have 100 lefties. We'll take them
yeah,
all. But
yeah. Another
it's
lefty, Blake Mitchell. He's on the injured
yeah,
list, but we'll see what
Vaz,
he does when he comes back.
yeah, Vaz would be there too. That's another
Yeah,
one. But you got a lot of lefties, but I'm not going to complain if they're all hitting. It's
yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you hit right or left side. If you're
yeah,
hitting, that's what matters, right?
yeah, right.
Some other guys. We'll just go through the hitters real quick. Austin Charles off to a pretty solid start. Has a 900 OPS. He's in high A Quad Cities for the first time. Erling Figueroa. He's slugging 1,000. Dude looks
Yeah,
great. He came over in that Ryan Yarbrough trade. I think he had like 4 walks and 2 homers the other day in one game.
yeah,
6 RBIs. Dude
yeah. He
was
breaks.
impressive. And then some guys in Omaha. Drew Waters. He won the International League Hitter of the Week.
That kid's on one. That
Yeah. He did the
he's
same thing last year, but
yeah.
he might get a chance this year. I don't know. He's hitting 455, slugging 909. He's really mashing the ball right now.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet, but he's making a case to fight his way onto the major league roster, especially if the other outfielders struggle.
Yeah, he's gonna swing and miss just like MJ Melendez. He's gonna strike out just like MJ Melendez. The only thing he's gonna do that Melendez doesn't is play center field here and there, but he's not
Yeah,
gonna be outstanding out
they
there.
had similar prospect profiles too. They were once the top prospect in their organization, or pretty close to it. Waters was once
Mhm.
number one for the Braves, I think. So
Yeah. Mhm.
uh, we'll see. He might get another shot, but he also might be a good trade option. Kind of like
Yeah. Right.
last year, everybody was calling for Pennington to come up. He came up, pitched pretty well for like 4 innings, and they were like, "Bye." And now he's struggling with the Rangers. Well,
Yeah.
we got Lorenzen, so
Yeah. I think Pennington and Waters too. It's those are good examples of don't look at the slash lines, don't look at the box
yeah,
score stats, especially in Omaha because they don't translate very well.
yeah.
Especially
You got
for
to do it in the
pitchers, look at
majors.
the stuff. The stuff to me matters a lot more than ERA, right?
Yeah, I would kill to have Statcast so I can see the like baseball savant page for all the minor league guys. It's tough to always do it with your eyes, but yeah, you can't rely on all the just the minor league like raw stats. They don't tell you enough, and we've seen Drew Waters struggle at the major league level. So um, these numbers are all great. They're all super cool. I love it when guys get on base more than 50% of the time and are mashing with a 900 plus slugging percentage. But I'll be significantly more impressed when you do it at the major league level.
Yeah. On to the pitchers. Well, I guess I'll mention Cam Devaney first. He has 4 home runs, leads all Royals minor leaguers, slugging 852. He was pretty solid last year too. I've just always kind of viewed him as a depth guy, depth utility type guy, which is pretty similar to what Nick Lofton gives you. So I don't. He's a guy, recognize he's off to a hot start. He looks great. He's not a guy that I think really translates to the big leagues
You,
all that
the
well.
infield's deep. A couple guys got to get injured
Yeah,
before he gets up, or he has to
yeah,
keep hitting like this.
exactly. He's another guy, probably more of a trade piece than a true
Yeah,
impact big leaguer. Onto the pitching, Steven Zobak had a pretty rough outing. Gave up I think 5 runs over 3 innings, so he did not look great. But he had 6 strikeouts, and I think the BABIP against him was like 500. So there's just guys getting lucky. I think
it's
he's
one
still going to be
outing.
fine. Yeah, he's
It's
still
one
going to be
outing.
fine. Melinda Avila did the opposite. Got started extremely hot. Looked fantastic in his first start. He's got 2 starts under his belt now. 16 strikeouts, 3 walks. The stuff looks like he did in Arizona.
That dude's ridiculous. Yeah,
He's he's one of the best 8 relievers they have in the system.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's pitching as a starter right now. Um, I kind of wonder if they have him stretched out to be a starter. If they don't have him stretched out, if the velocity goes up even more. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know how likely that is, but if it does, he's ridiculous. The stuff is some of the best in the system, some of the best I've seen from a prospect um, in a long time. So he's killing it in Omaha. Just 16 Ks and 3 walks. I mean, that's not Avila that we saw before. That's insane from him. So
yeah.
really,
16
really good
strikeouts,
stuff.
only 11 and 2/3 innings pitched, so he looks great.
That's
Noah,
crazy.
Noah Cameron, he's in that rotation as well. Had a strong first start, 5 innings, 1.8 ERA so far in the year. So I think with both those guys, you keep them pitching out of the rotation. You want that starter depth.
Yeah,
I think they're both great starting pitching prospects until they're not.
yeah.
But I think Avila's got a much better chance to actually succeed in the bullpen. So
Yeah. I don't think Cameron would succeed very well in the bullpen. I think he is only a starter, but he looks solid as a starter. There was talk of him even making the roster as a starter. And
yeah,
it's possible that he would have if we didn't re-sign Lorenzen because of especially with Marsh on the injured list. So
yeah,
right now
for
he's
sure.
starting pitcher 6. So he could see some time and he got off to a good start at Omaha. That's what you want to see.
Yep. Some other guys, Frank Mazzucato made his first start of the year, 3 strikeouts. I was out of town on the weekend, and I don't think there was any video feed for his start anyway, so I don't know what the velocity looked like. He's a guy, obviously, he was touching 94 in the spring breakout, so
Huge.
I'm tired of every time you bring up Frank Mazzucato, it's velocity comes up first. But, once
Yeah.
again, this season, that's what we're looking for.
Mhm.
Um, some other guys, Ben Kudrna, he looked fine. He looked like Ben Kudrna
Yep.
in his first start. Drew Beam kind of struggled, but he looked really solid to start that. I agree with what you said in the notes.
I tweeted one out too early. I tweeted out that I was in love with Drew Beam and he went 3 innings scoreless, had 3 strikeouts. He looked really good through those first 3 innings and then ran out of gas, lost confidence in a couple, especially those off-speed pitches. But the fastball looked really good. He was commanding the other stuff at the beginning of the start and then blew them all in that one out. That point one after the 3 is where all of those runs came from. If you watch that game, he was impressive. He hit a rough patch, but I was impressed with what I saw before then. I was walking over to a friend's house, so I was watching it while I was on my walk, and he was really looked good. It's that again. He hit a rough patch. It's his first professional start yet. I expect him to bounce back, but
Yeah,
doesn't
I
know.
mean, his first pro start, he got through the lineup once, looked great. Second time through, he got hit. So
Yeah,
I think we'll see more of the good from him as he progresses this year.
yeah,
Few relievers. Evan Sisk, we talked about. He's got 3 1/3 under his belt. Hasn't allowed to run. AJ Causey, we talked to him last episode. Got to know him a little bit. Side armor. He's got 2 innings pitched under his belt, 4 strikeouts. Didn't give up a run. Looked great.
yeah. Came in after
Um,
Beam a little bit after Beam, but
yeah.
yeah, looked.
Yeah, and then Dennis Colleran, I think, is in Colombia, but he got his first save as a professional,
Yeah.
2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts. He's a guy who throws 99. It was kind of a straight fastball, so I'm interested to see what that looks like as I can watch him this year. See how they tweak that shape a little bit.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him. I watched the close for that game because I'd mentioned him as in one of my articles earlier this year about him being a guy to just watch as maybe you haven't heard of him, but keep an eye out because he could move up. That hard fastball and the splitter and slider, really good pitch mix. Um, and I was impressed with what I saw from him. I put out a tweet that he got his first save, and then his sister liked it. So once again, I've got family members that are
There you go.
seeing my posts. I had Mazzucato's mom and now Dennis Colleran's sister. So this is a shout out to I forget her name, but Dennis
Shout out to the
Colleran's
fam.
sister who pitches softball for Boston College. So runs in the family, I guess. But yeah, he looked good. Threw hard, did his thing, got 2 strikeouts, and he was impressive. Good save.
Last name I'll mention, International League Pitcher of the Week, Tyson Guerrero. He was perfect in his last outing. I think he went 5 innings, didn't give up a base runner. He's got 2 starts under his belt so far this year. He's gone 9 innings pitched, has a 2.88 FIP, 13 strikeouts, 1 walk.
That's incredible.
So he looks great. He's another guy, a lot like Avila. Maybe he's doing some starting right now, but I think he's more of a bullpen guy. If
Mm-hmm.
he's and he could impact this year. His slider's a plus pitch. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, and his fastball's only gotten better year after year. So, like
Yeah.
I said, International League Pitcher of the Week. Drew Waters was International League Hitter of the Week. So Omaha showing out in Week 1.
Yeah, they look good.
Yep. Next time we get together, we'll be talking about larger sample sizes. So we'll see how much of this can stick. Hopefully, we'll get Javier Vaz back. He should miss maybe one more week of the season, and then I think he'll start to get going. And then Blake Mitchell as well. He's supposedly getting pretty close, so it'd be nice to see those guys.
Yeah, really, really, really want to see Blake Mitchell get back because I want to see the confidence in his hands, see him get back.
Yeah,
Would be disappointing to kind of have a scrapped start to the season with that injury, but right now the minor leaguers look great. They look better than the Royals to an extent. I
yeah,
mean, the Royals didn't look bad, but the Northwest Arkansas and Omaha, they got stars in Omaha that are going crazy, and then Northwest Arkansas has dudes that are just pounding the baseball. They won like 12-11, right? Like yesterday.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's just you couldn't stop them from scoring. So
yeah. I think they're averaging like 8 runs a game or something
yeah,
like that.
it's
It's
ridiculous.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Well,
hate to
yeah.
face them.
Hopefully,
Or
we'll have a
so.
larger sample next time. We'll have some other guys that haven't debuted yet. Hero Wyatt, Blake Walters will hopefully have made appearances. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Let's get to hats off. What do you got? I know this is a
This one's
sensitive
personal
subject.
for me. Yeah, this one's personal for me. Um, Kevin Willard, I spoke to you in the elevator at the NCAA tournament. Um, what you've done to the Maryland basketball program is morally reprehensible. Um, Scott Van Pelt talked about it on his podcast. He was like, if you're going to be a coach for 3 years for a program that like gives you a chance to be a stepping stone or whatever you want to do, don't take a dump on the front door on your way out. Kevin Willard did just that. Maryland basketball has one player returning next season. I saw some Kansas fans on Twitter talking about like we have 9 open scholarship. Maryland had 14. We had 14 open scholarships on our basketball roster. So yeah, what Kevin Willard had done to the program, he got us to the Sweet 16 for the first time, probably put together the best roster since the national championship team in 2002, and then hung the entire organization out to dry. He got the athletic director fired or made the athletic director leave. The second he left, he goes, I'm out. So we didn't have an athletic director. We didn't have a coach. We didn't know the coach was leaving. So we hadn't started looking for coaches, and the transfer portal had been open for a week. So um, this one's personal. Kevin Willard, you're a bum. That was extremely disrespectful what you did to Maryland. I am so excited to attend the Georgetown Villanova game next season. That is almost already sold out with Maryland fans ready to go root for Georgetown as loud as possible
bring
because
your bring your
um,
Willards a bum signs.
Yeah, I get everybody come with the Willard pictures. Somebody had a meme of him like taking a ship down, and it was like Maryland basketball. I had like all the names of the players. Um, I will include on a bit of a happier note. I'll include a small one. Hats off to Derek Queen for declaring for the NBA draft. If there's any great thing to come from this season for Maryland fans, it's Derek Queen. Um, Great dude, really nice guy. Got to talk to him a bit while I was at the tournament. Was just a really humble, like nice guy. So I mentioned that last week that he hit the last time we were on here. He hit the game winner. Was a really nice
Hmm.
guy. Nobody deserves it more. So look forward to him. Top 5 player in this year's draft. I said it now. Don't follow the NBA super close, but that kid's going to be really good.
All right, my hat's off. I'll stick to baseball. But I just want to bring up the Boston Red Sox. I'm not a Red Sox fan, but they've had like they're doing it the right way. They extended Garrett Crochet, massive deal. Um, their big prospect Campbell, they just extended him. You know, he's played
Yeah,
like a week in the
he's
big leagues,
crazy.
right? He looks great. But they signed Alex Bregman in the offseason, like really late. He leads the MLB in hits right now, right?
Right.
So I think the better the Red Sox are, that's good for baseball. I'd rather have good teams, not bad teams. Unless
Right.
it's the Cardinals, and I'm pretty happy when they stink. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, just hats off to the Red Sox for doing what the Royals should start thinking about doing, and let's talk to Jack Caglione pretty early.
Yeah, how
I'd
good
love to
is
see
that
that.
rotation with Crochet, Hauk, and Bueller at the top?
Yeah,
That's a really good group of 3 guys.
yeah,
Um,
they signed Bueller, and he looked fine in his first
yeah,
outing.
yeah. I was a big fan of Bueller this offseason. I said that if the Royals were going to sign a pitcher, he was who I wanted, and then I saw what he got paid.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
yep,
Yeah, they have
never
Brian
mind.
Bello too. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, Bello's
But I
also
mean,
good. Yeah,
the Red Sox have all this going for them, and they still have like Roman Anthony and a loaded
yeah.
farm system.
Marcelo
So
Myers, that kid's
yeah,
legit too. He's real good. So
yeah. So I mean, hats off to the Red Sox. I think a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to be talking about this is the model organization. Outside the Dodgers, who can spend $1 billion. But hats off to the Red Sox. They're doing it right.
yeah, this is a first. I think you did a nice one, and I sarcastically tipped my hat to my metaphorical huge hat that's right over here to Kevin Willard.
We flipped this week.
Yeah, so yeah, we flipped the script. Yep, this it's been a long week. It's been a long week for Maryland
Yeah,
fans. He was a nice guy. We all liked him, and then he did that. And he's a nice person. He did what he had to do for his family. If you want to go to Villanova, go to Villanova. Just don't
yeah, that's
screw the
fine.
program. But
Just say
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, I know, right? He was like, I got in trouble for being honest, and then he lied to the entire everybody. He told everybody he told the players he was coming back, and then he bounced. But his point guard didn't follow him. Jacoby Gillespie turned down like $3 million to go to Tennessee because he didn't want to follow him. But anyway, that's enough Willard talk. Good riddance. Buzz is better. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, and that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll see what the Rose do in this AL Central swing. I hope it's 7 wins in
Yeah.
7 games. That'd be real nice.
Look forward
And
to
we'll
it. They're up
see.
3-1 right now.
Yeah,
Lorenzen's pitching
I
well.
saw
So.
Vinny had an RBI double. I think
Yep.
Melendez had a
Yeah.
double. So
Melendez got a run. Garcia got a hit to push him to third. So
we'll
good
keep the
start.
good vibes going. Hopefully.
Yeah, we got this.
But yeah, until next time. Thanks for joining us. Drop a review, subscribe, drop a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Talk some trash if you want. I don't care. But yeah,
Yeah.
until next time. Catch you guys later.